Well, this is the thing with Game of Thrones, and I think this is why it had the kind of cult popularity that it did, and it will be a cult classic. Because what most people don't understand, and most people actually towards the end they hated how it ended. But as I'm sat watching through it again, now understanding language and dialogue in a completely fresh way to what I did the first couple of times I watched Game of Thrones, I've now seen that actually what happens at the end is told in season one. It's reiterated in season two. Starts to play out in season three, and it just builds up. Daenerys was always going to do what people never wanted her to do because
Yeah,
they
I think
thought something else of her. She's actually a really good example of a cult leader. She gets you to believe one thing, and then she does another.
no. So I have a different take on that.
Go on.
There is a phrase: "Power corrupts and corrupts absolutely,"
Yeah,
and that phrase
they
is
say that in Game of
incorrect.
Thrones. Yeah,
Yeah, it's incorrect. That's not correct. Power corrupts and does corrupt absolutely, right? In a sense, but what actually corrupts people is the fear of losing power,
yes, to an
and that's
extent.
no 100. The reason that power corrupts people is because once you get into that position of power, you realize everybody is trying to take it from you,
Yeah, this is it.
and
Just
that's
bear
and
with me a second.
it's the
Yeah, go on,
fear of
carry on.
it's the fear of losing power that corrupts people. So you then start, you are forced by just default, you are forced by default to start putting in safety mechanisms that basically capture your enemies, the people that are trying to dethrone you. And
Yeah,
because of that, you can only become paranoid that people are always trying to take your power.
yes. So there's
Are we
another
going to
quote
pause?
here from Vikings, which is power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best.
Yes. I tell you,
But that
if you
wasn't the
want
one
a
I
good,
was looking for. Uh, um, yeah, this was it. I never asked for power. So this is from Vikings, but it's very relevant because it was a brilliant scene in Vikings too, which also David will never have seen. He's missed out on so much. Anyway, he says, I never asked for power. Power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up.
yes, I have heard that quote for some reason.
It's a brilliant because it is. It's power belongs to those who are probably more narcissistic and psychopathic and feel the need to take it from somebody else. Most people, like us plebs, don't feel the need to take power from somebody else or over
If
somebody else.
if you haven't seen it, there's an amazing film with Christian Bale and Sam Rockwell called Vice. And
Mm,
Christian Bale plays the role of Dick Cheney, the vice president.
okay.
And
I've
Sam
not seen it.
Rockwell, it's a brilliant film. It's almost autobiographical. And Sam
So what we've
Rockwell,
got here, folks, is I send David books to read. He sends me films to watch.
yes, okay,
This is the
Uh,
exchange.
yeah, yeah, and Sam Rockwell plays the George W. Bush,
Mm,
right? And what the film points out, and it's the thing that Dick Cheney did very well, is George W. Bush was the president, Dick Cheney was in charge.
mm.
And Dick Cheney supported George W. Bush to get him into presidency so that he could control America.
Yeah.
And that's,
But this is the thing in Game of Thrones of Varys and Littlefinger. They're controlling the um the the monarchies more than the monarchies actually realize because they're playing them through their networks.
but this is also Sopranos.
Yes. That was a good
You know what I mean?
series.
Because Tony, yes, I haven't watched that either.
Of course
But
you've not. I did. I wouldn't expect anything less.
but in is what Soprano's Uncle Junior, isn't it? I've seen lots
Yes.
of clips of it. Um, he becomes the head of the family because Tony lets him.
Yeah,
But Tony is actually the power in the family.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is
And that
literally, yeah.
yeah, and that's Dick Cheney and W. Bush.
Mm.
Vice is a film. It's a 2018 film. And
But this is
it's
governments as well. People think Keir Starmer's in power in the UK. He's not.
I would ask his rent boys because they seem to know a lot about him.
Right, let's leave that there before we get ourselves.
So Deepak Chopra.
Let's
Chopra.
yeah.
Chopra.
So let's try and get back to the quack, the
Yeah. So
quack that is
this,
Deepak.
so I this came from a video that Samantha sent me of Richard Dawkins and Deepak Chopra. And for those that don't know who he is, well done. Consider yourself lucky. He is
Very
probably one of
lucky.
he is probably one of the first internet sage spiritual gurus, sponsored by,
His own companies.
promoted by, pushed
His own
by
companies. It's on
Oprah.
Wikipedia.
His what?
It's on Wikipedia. I've actually got the page. He's sponsored mainly by his own companies, but it was elevated by Oprah Winfrey.
I'm going to say he was pushed forward. Nobody had heard of him until Oprah Winfrey came along and
Yeah,
said,
as I say,
"Hey,
elevated by Oprah.
here's a
Yeah,
guy."
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and here's this guy. For those of you that need help, he knows how to manipulate your pain points so that you'll part with your money. He has all of these wonderful apps. He definitely was an extremely good example of the first spiritual guru who understood materialistic values and how to monetize that through the internet. Congratulations to him.
Yeah,
The
but
Catholic
what
Church
I
had
think
so
what
much to
makes
learn.
him slightly different though is because he actually has a genuine medical background. That's why people listened to him in the first place. Bit
That's
like
what makes
Dr.
it
Phil.
worse.
Yeah, it does make it worse, but it's same as Dr. Phil, who's also elevated by Oprah. He was psychologist was Dr. Phil, but no longer licensed once he started making a commercial business under
I,
Oprah
I
Winfrey.
the only thing I would say that I caveat as being slightly different for Dr. Phil is Dr. Phil was purely TV entertainment on the
Yeah, yeah,
basis
that
of
yeah.
I am a former psychiatrist or psychologist. Now I'm just going to get people with their problems, put them on stage, it's just
Jerry
free.
Springer.
Well, it's Jeremy Stringer
Springer.
with Springer.
Springer, not Stringer. It's a
As
Stringfellas nightclub going through my head then.
the same trash. So
Exactly same trash.